Some books break your heart. These books will annihilate your soul. Today I have some of the bleakest classics that I have ever read. These books aren't necessarily to teach you a lesson or redeem anyone. They are to show you the ugly side of humanity, the ugly, naked truth of human nature, the emptiness, the bleakness, the overall just like meaninglessness of life. So I'm going to be sharing with you some of the books that actually destroyed my soul when I read them. Let's go with one that is no surprise. It made it onto this list. That is The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. Of course, this is like a semi-autobiographical novel about a woman literally going through a mental breakdown. The book just does a great job at showing like a woman's descent into madness and kind of what led her there. And it also just shows like you don't have to get married, you don't have to get kids, you don't have to get kids, you don't have to have kids, you don't have to follow these societal norms. I feel like this book really set the framework for so many of the modern sort of unhinged woman books that we see today. Such a great book that left me feeling empty inside. I loved the fig tree analogy. It's something I still think about. Play It As It Lays by Joan Didion. The most glamorous breakdown that you'll ever read. So we are following this woman in California in the 60s, and she is a movie star married to this director. Just so much drama and horrible things happen to this main character that just leave her feeling so empty. Like, this book is just emptiness. That's the best way that I can describe this book. Just the empty, hopeless feeling that you get reading this, and when it ends you're just like, oh my god, like I feel nothing. It's just this cold, detached numbness that you feel reading this book, and just again showcasing a woman's descent into madness. And this was just so well written, so beautifully done. I can't wait to reread this book in the future because it's one that I think about all the time. It really stuck with me. This book, if you're looking for those like cold, numb, detached vibes, definitely go with this one. Another book that has that same feeling is The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway, which Joan Didion, you know, took a lot of inspiration from Hemingway, so it makes sense that they're both on this list with a similar vibe. But this is another one. We are following a man with his friends, and they kind of, you know, they go out on vacation together to watch the bullfights, and it is post-war, and he's in love with a woman and they can't be together. He's sexually impotent after the war, after an injury, and so it's just this yearning component. He can't be with someone that he loves, and we're just following him and his friends literally drifting through life. This is another book that's very detached. It has just this numb feeling to it, which not everyone vibes with, but I do really well with. So I ended up liking this one more and more as I read. Like, the second half really took off for me, and I ended up loving the ending. Another one that I closed the book and I felt like I've been stabbed right in the chest, because this one again left me feeling so numb inside. I don't know, really love this one. Stoner by John Williams. This one here, we are just following an ordinary man's life. We are following this man from college up until he's old and dies. So we're literally just following him throughout his entire life, and he's just an average guy who becomes a professor, and we're just following his life. We're following his home life with his marriage. We're following his career. We're following literally every aspect of his life. It just shows you like all the hardships of being an average day-to-day person drifting through life. It shows all the raw truths about life. It kind of shows like what are the things that keep people going, right? Like, what are the things that make you wake up in the morning and give your life purpose? That is this book. It's trying to find a purpose when maybe your life isn't so great. I don't know. I ended up really liking this one. I wasn't like obsessed with it while I was reading it, but it's one of those books that after I read it, I appreciate it way more. Like, it's one that I constantly think about, and I'm like, that was a good book. You know what? This was a really good book, I must admit. I feel like this deserves a reread from me because I'm still thinking about it. The ending, this whole book, really, looking back at it, there are so many aspects of this book that felt like I was being punched in the gut. The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. So we all know this story is about a man who wakes up as a large beetle and his first thought is, oh my god, I'm gonna be late for work. It's this book about work culture, about society, how society treats you as someone who may be unable to contribute, like if you are unable to work, how society treats you. Great chronic illness rep. I'm chronically ill, and I felt super connected to this book for that reason. Just how society treats you when you aren't able to put in the productivity that everyone else is putting in, or if you're unable to provide for your family or provide for someone else. Just how society views you as useful according to your productivity level. And there's so much more that goes into that, but this book is just so freaking good and so sad, and just the way that his family treats him because he's the sole like provider for his family. Yeah, this book is very depressing, but very well done. Lots of commentary in there, and like I said, just super relatable for me, like being a person who's chronically ill. I see the parallels, and this is spot on. This is potentially the most bleak, gut-wrenching book on this list, and it is No Longer Human by Osamu Dazai. This is a book that was written by Dazai before he committed suicide, so it's very close to his actual life, so it's pretty heavily autobiographical, but we are following a man who growing up was very alienated and alone, dealt with a lot of social anxiety, and became like a clown to kind of mask his emotions and become like funny so people would like him, and then growing up to just feel so empty and hopeless around everyone else, and kind of, you know, getting mixed in with the wrong crowd, and just really focuses on his mental health issues throughout his life. This book is heavy. It is depressing. This one is the one that I would recommend, like, if you're in a bad mental state, don't read this book because it might make it worse. This is one to read like when you're in the mood to read something heavy like this, you know, not during a crisis or anything. But this book really got me. One of the top books that I've read this year. I would like to reread it, honestly. This book was so good, so relatable, and definitely one of the bleakest books I have ever read in my entire life. Like this is the one. Maybe this is even the bleakest one. I don't know. So this next one is actually one that I'm currently in the middle of reading, but I am liking it and I'm going to recommend it. It's Last Exit to Brooklyn by Hubert Selby Jr. So in this book here, we are following kind of the outcasts of society in Brooklyn, New York. So we're following, you know, like the junkies, the prostitutes, all of these different outcasts and how they are treated and how they treat one another. It's kind of broken up into different parts or stories. I will say the writing in this one is a little bit tricky. Like, it's a little hard getting into just the way that he writes. He's literally typing out like New York slang, and you have to read it and kind of like interpret it in your head. It's a little jumbled, the first story is, but then moving on into the next section, it gets a lot easier. It's just, he has a very interesting writing style. But this book is so heavy and depressing. Like, I genuinely feel for these characters. I feel empathy for them. The things that are happening are just so horrible. Think everything bad that can happen to a person imaginable, like abuse, rape, etc., violence. Everything is in this book, and it really just shows how these people in society are treated, and it's just very depressing. It's very, very depressing. It's very New York, okay? And listen, I'm not done with it yet, but I can confidently recommend this one as being just a super bleak, hopeless book. Like, I feel dead inside when I read this book. And last but not least, speaking of feeling dead inside, The Stranger by Albert Camus. I mean, it's not a bleak, depressing book video without mentioning Camus, am I right? This book here, we are following an absurdist. So he believes that life is meaningless, life has no purpose, things just happen at random, and you have to accept it. And so we are following this guy, like his mother dies, he feels nothing. He kills a man on a beach, he feels nothing. They bring him to trial, he feels nothing. And they're so focused on the way that this man feels nothing throughout the book. And the second half of this, specifically the ending, really sealed the deal for me. Absolutely love this book. I was just obsessed with the way that this ended. Listen, I'm a little bit of an absurdist myself, okay? I also feel like life is meaningless. I mean, that's why I keep filming bleak, depressing book videos, and I keep reading bleak, depressing books, because that's my thing. So this is kind of like, Camus is kind of my dad, okay? Just the thing that makes this book so terrifying is just the emptiness that he feels inside, the nothingness. It's not horror, it's not shock value, it's just nothing. The only certainty to life is death, and like, does it even matter? Does death matter? This book just forces us to observe our own meaninglessness in life, and really just takes out any emotional stakes that are there involving anything. Friends, family, yourself, your life. Yes, very thought-provoking read, and this is another one. I wasn't like obsessed when I first read it, but I can't stop thinking about it, and it's one that I have to reread because it might be 5 stars for me. We'll see. So that is it. Those were the bleakest classics that I've read so far. I'm on a classics kick, so let me know if there are any bleak classics that you want me to read or that you think I should read. Leave them in the comments down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.